What's going on, you bunch of heathens? Today we are checking out another Found and Explained video, which, weirdly enough, I haven't checked out for a while. But I saw this and I was like, yeah, I want to look more into this. It's on this video is called How the Japanese Reinvented the F-16 and Made It Better, which I love the F-2, but I know jack about it. So this should be pretty interesting, you know, to actually figure out what it's about and all that shit. So, yeah, make sure you guys check out the original video. It'll be linked down below. Let's jump straight in.
This video is brought to you by War Thunder. Play with me this weekend. Details in the description. I remember many years ago when I first saw this jet and I thought, wow, Japan has finally bought the F-16. But that was far from reality.
Yeah, actually, I think, you know where I actually first saw the F2? It was Ace Combat 7. I had bought that game on a whim on my PS4, and the F2 was in there, and I thought it was super cool, because I thought it was just, I didn't realize much of it was different. I thought it was just a reskinned F-16, of course. And that I also saw that it was like, and then I looked a bit more into it, because I thought it was interesting and found out it was Japanese. Like I said, that's like the extent that I know about it. Other than it's also made by, it was Mitsubishi, I think. I want to say it was the Mitsubishi.
Although very similar on first sight, the F2 and the F-16 don't share as much as you would like to believe. To understand this story, we've actually got to go back in time to the late 1980s and the procurement program for the new fighter for the Japanese Air Self-Defense Force.
Oh, what a... Dude, this is dope. Hey, what was that? What was that? Oh my god, I love these kinds of fucking fan arts. I love these where they're fucking, where it's military equipment personified as anime girls. Because that kind of shit is so fucking cool. I love that shit. And holy shit, the 80s Japanese music. God, this whole aesthetic intro is such a vibe. I love it. The Viper Zero. Mitsubishi making the Zero again. God, what a fucking vibe.
Japan was in a predicament. They obtained the F-15Js from the United States and had a very potent air superiority fighter.
Oh, that's right.
An adequate support fighter, as they...
I forget, Japan got a lot of its shit from the US. I forgot about that because I forgot they also run F-15s. God, and they ran the F4s into the ground as well, which is super fucking cool. Like, I don't think it was up until recently, I want to say, where they actually finally retired them. Because Japan also uses the H1, not the Z, not the new one, the F variant, maybe, I think. Also, they also have a Apache,
like to call it, or a multi-role aircraft that could perform both air-to-air and air-to-ground
God, what a
missions.
sexy plane.
Encouraged with the local assembly of their own F-15s and development of their previous aircraft, the F-1, the Japanese thought that maybe they could just do it themselves. They were certain that they could develop an indigenous fighter and strengthen the domestic aerospace industry. Two initial proposals were made. The first from Mitsubishi was a Delta Wing plus Canard configuration, and Kawasaki came with their F-18 Hornet lookalike. But pretty darn quickly,
come on, Kawasaki!
This task was going to be A, extremely expensive,
yes,
and B, simply unrealistic because they...
Yeah, developing your own plane is incredibly expensive. I mean, God, how much money did the US throw at the F-15 program alone? It was an ungodly amount.
Lacked the technology and experience, so they opted for cooperation with a willing partner to jointly develop this new aircraft. Europe was ready to offer the Tornado, but that wouldn't really fit in with the role that Japan wanted, and the Pentagon, monitoring this development, saw an opportunity to offer the Japanese
Hey,
joint development of
buddy!
a fighter based off the F-16 or F-18. But there was a third contender.
Oh, there
Now,
was?
Around the same time, General Dynamics was actually offering a variant of the F-16 called the Agile Falcon as a cheap alternative entry into the Advanced Tactical Fighter program, the same program that would eventually deliver the F-22. Thus,
Oh, that's
this
cool.
F-16 variant was found to be unsuitable for the US Air Force. But it was more than suitable for Japan. And that's when our story starts.
That's cool.
Before the F-2, Japan's premier fighter jet was the F-15J. It suited the needs of the Japanese defense and was considered one of the best fighter jets in the world at the time. And it does make you wonder what
I still stand by it probably
fly.
is.
Well, in today's sponsor, you can. War Thunder.
Oh, I was wondering
the
where
most
this-
comprehensive free
I was wondering where this was going. Oh, it's going into the
vehicle
War
combat
Thunder ad.
game ever made. And boy, do they have a ton of machines, from biplanes, interwar tanks, to battleships, jet fighters, to modern main battle tanks. You can select over 2,500 playable vehicles, and let me tell you, that's a lot. And each of these
Yeah, it is.
machines is accurately modeled, so the damage is real, with engines, fuel tanks, and even pilots being susceptible to damage like real life. And a cool X-ray model showing each hit that you've had or dealt. There's also a great customization and different game modes for every player, from arcade to realistic, and there's now an even new mobile version that's even better to play on the go. And
Oh,
my
that's
favorite part
right.
about
I
War
always
Thunder
fucking
is
forget that
sheer
there's
chaos
the,
we have when we all play together on the Found and Explain live streams.
Oh, he actually plays it. Or at least streams it. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't know that. Huh. God, what was I going to say? I was
With
going to
many
mention
people putting
something.
together different aircraft and tanks into pure chaotic fun. And the best part
And
of
I can't
all
remember
this
what it
is
was.
to play with me this weekend and 70 million other players in epic PvP competitions. You don't need any
Honestly, with the death of Ready or Not right now, because god damn, you fucked it up. In between playing, actually playing and finishing Death Stranding, because I haven't finished it yet. I need to hop back into War
fancy,
Thunder. I haven't played
as
War Thunder in a
War
hot
Thunder is
minute.
free for PC, consoles, and even mobile devices. And I'm not coming empty-handed. If you use my code in the description or the pinned comment, new and returning players on PC and consoles that haven't played in the last 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Igor Vela, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account. It's available for a limited time.
It's actually a
only,
really
so
good
be
deal.
quick.
Ooh, look at that sexy beast.
Mitsubishi as a name is often linked to the Lancer evolution. But
Hell
they were
yeah,
well
it's a
versed in
dope
aircraft
fucking
development,
game.
And their A6M0 became one of the most prominent fighters of aviation history. But
Yep.
of course, their more recent track record included the F1 attack aircraft. So they were chosen to lead this new program to build
Mitsubishi is such a fucking dope company. They are in everything.
the successor. With the groundwork already done by General Dynamics, the Mitsubishi F2 would be built on the base of the F-16 Agile Falcon, but with significant differences in electronics and avionics. Compared to a regular F-16C at the time, the F2 had a 0.5 meter longer fuselage, which is really not much, but it had a 25% larger wing area, which is a lot.
That's
Larger wings
cool.
meant there was room for 2 more additional hardpoints for weapons, and the maximum takeoff weight rose to 22 tons compared to 19 tons on the F-16.
Oh, that's
And what do
way
you do with
bigger
these 2
and,
new
and
hardpoints?
big.
Well, you can either add additional fuel tanks or 4 domestic ASM-1 or ASM-2 anti-ship missiles.
Exactly
This
what it
also meant
needs.
that the combat range could be significantly increased over the F-16 as well, some 25%, which is quite important for an island-based country such as Japan.
Oh yeah,
The tailplanes
big.
were also slightly larger, and a drag chute was introduced, unlike the US F-16 variants. The engine powering this aircraft is also the same as the F-16 Block 50, a General Electric F-110 with 131 kilonewtons of thrust, while using an afterburner, which makes it even more impressive that this aircraft had the same engine as the F-16, but it had such a better performance. The nose of the
Damn,
aircraft
they
would
really
also be
knew.
slightly longer and
Agile
wider
is
to
fucking
accommodate
very.
radar, but we'll get
Agile is very apropos. Oops, sorry, I didn't mute my phone. That is very apropos, and they added a new fucking radar to it. That's cool.
back to that into a minute. And why stop there? The canopy also keeps the great visibility of the F-16, but now it's in 3 pieces instead of 2, meaning better sturdiness and resistance to bird strikes. The cockpit is updated with large LCD screens, and just like the original, the plane features fly-by-wire controls with an analog backup system in case of failure. And overall, much more composites were used
that's
in
smart.
construction, which lowered the weight due to the increased wings and helps decrease the radar signature. And on the topic of radar signatures, the nose, the leading edges, and the intake were all made with a special Mitsubishi-developed radar-absorbent material, which is apparently very top secret, to help further reduce the already low radar signature of the F-16 design.
That's
In total,
dope.
95% of the elements and drawings were changed on the F-2 compared to the original Vita aircraft, and it pretty much today is its own unique aircraft.
Oh, so it just kind of looks like it, but overall, it's incredibly fucking different.
But the
That's
key
cool.
feature of the F-2 was its radar.
Of course.
The JAPG-1 was the world's first AESA radar on a production aircraft, even before the F-22. And this is a big deal. AESA radars are a game changer and featured on every modern aircraft, especially 5th-gen jets. They have a much faster scanning capability than previous PISA radars, LPI mode, amazing jamming capabilities, and the Japanese were the first to introduce it. Now, it's important to note
Oh, that's
this
kind of a
aircraft was
surprise.
optimized for low-level flight and anti-ship missions.
That's actually kind of a surprise if you think about it. US wasn't the first to put that shit on there. It was them. That's cool.
Because that's where the biggest threat to Japan lies. But this means that it does lack some important features of modern multi-role jets,
Okay.
especially
Like-
when you compare it to a modern F-16 variant. It was never intended for seed missions, for example, and it can't carry AGM-88 HARM missiles.
Oh,
due
that's...
to the Japanese constitution, it was banned from using standoff weapons such as cruise missiles. Japan is not
Ugh.
part of NATO, and the F-2 doesn't have access to the NATO Link 16, limiting its network-centric activities. Pilots also don't have helmet-mounted displays available, and initially it lacked targeting pods, although they fixed this later with a sniper pod. And bringing this aircraft to market was a rocky road as well.
I mean, it would. I don't remember which, God, what was it? I don't remember who the video was, or if I even covered it on the channel. But the F-35, they were having issues with the F-35, like getting agreements to bring it in. And then no standoff missiles, that kind of sucks. Not being able to access HARM sucks. No HMD visor, that kind of sucks as well. Damn, it's missing a bunch of shit. But targeting pods, they said they fixed that, but I'm not sure if that also encompassed like all the other stuff.
Due to the Toshiba Kongsberg scandal, where important technologies were sold to the Soviets, there was a vocal opposition in the States against the transfer of technology and joint development with Japan. They just didn't trust them. But the project's savior was Ronald Reagan himself.
Of
He
course.
was pressing for arming US allies all over the world and helping them fight in case of war with the evil empire, as he called the USSR. However, despite the project being announced in 1987 and all of his efforts, in 1989, George W. Bush Sr.'s administration pressed for a revised agreement where all of the technology developed by Japan during the program lifecycle would be sent to the US, while their access to the equivalent American technology would be limited. The Japanese swallowed their pride and signed this new deal anyway.
Damn, y'all are stronger than me. I probably wouldn't have signed that shit. I mean, they must have been actually worried enough to do it, because that's... Oh, that's shitty. That's a shitty fucking deal.
So the F2 could finally enter development and production, although somewhat handicapped. But that hasn't stopped it performing one of the most interesting roles in the world of aviation.
Look at that sexy bitch.
Quite an interesting role as well. In the beginning, it was designated as a support fighter and not a multi-role fighter, because it was made to fight against ships, ground targets, and only then against other aircraft. But it doesn't mean that this aircraft has no teeth. Its main air-to-air armament are locally produced AAM-3s, 4s, and the new AAM-5 missiles. The AAM-4 is the Japanese equivalent of the AMRAAM, but what's interesting is that this missile was, again, the first missile to feature an AESA Seeker radar in 2010. And treating their fighter jet like a YouTube channel that needs to keep constantly putting out content, they decided to also upgrade its anti-ship missiles in 2016 with the new ASM-3. It's a completely new supersonic ramjet.
Despite how much, like, you don't hear about the Japan military or self-defense force, I guess, they got some cool shit. That's why, honestly, Gate, I love Gate. My main issue is that the author of Gate is heavily anti-Western. And you can really see it. Like, they're making the Americans seem evil in it constantly, when in reality, it would be a joint US-Japan force that would go through the Gate. Like, the author is very anti-US. And don't get me wrong, US does some jack shit. But in this scenario... No, that's
powered anti-ship missile, which is planned to have a range of over 400 kilometers, and would be able to attack not only ships, but ground targets as well.
Damn!
And you're probably wondering at this point in the video, how successful was the F2 aircraft? Because it sounds amazing, and with all this crazy Hello Kitty Japanese technology incorporated into it, it must be one hell of a fighter. Well, the F2 production numbers were initially aiming for over 140 airframes, but in the end, only 94 serial aircraft were built, with a production split 60-40 between Japan and the US. And it's also important to note that Kawasaki wasn't left into the dust, but they ended up being part of this project, and they were tasked with building a mid-section of the fuselage.
Okay.
But all good tales must come to an end, and the last F2 rolled out of the production line in 2011.
Really? That long ago?
F2A variant, which would also feature conformal fuel tanks and other updates, Japan ended up buying the F-35 instead for their new fighter, which is, well...
God, I love the F-35, but... Damn, the Super Kai would have been super cool to look into the sea. And God, do you recommend any videos on the JSDF? Because I want to learn more about them, but I can never find anything. Like, I think I saw one video because I wanted to look into them at one point, like a couple months, 3-4 months ago, I think, something like that. And I could barely find anything when it came to them. Like, it was some random pseudo vlog or something like that. Focusing on a training mission that they went on. But I could never really find anything about the modern JSDF. Imperial Japan during like World War II and shit can find pretty easily. But modern Japan military, I can't find shit on.
Quite understandable. You see, a disaster struck the F2 program and Japan as a whole in the 2011 devastating earthquakes and tsunami, where 18 airframes were damaged.
Oh, that's horrible. Look at that. This poor plane.
While 13 of those were later repaired and brought back into service 4 years later, 5 of those airframes had to be written off. But like that famous saying, no good plan survives contact with the enemy. And the Viper Zero had several quite interesting encounters in 2013 when Russian jets entered the Japanese airspace and F-2s were scrambled to intercept. Those were Su-27s, and the F-2s made several intercepts that year with the pilots taking pictures of the Russian jets. In another incident, they intercepted a Russian Tu-142 maritime aircraft in the south when the Russians entered Japanese airspace. Overall, the Mitsubishi F2 is one damn good-looking jet, and it's a shame that it was never produced in larger numbers.
Yeah.
But it will keep protecting Japanese skies for years to come, since it was planned to retire sometime in the 2030s.
Damn, so it's still got a pretty good long life. And damn, Russia really love fucking with airspace, huh?
Today's sponsor, War Thunder, and blow up some tanks with me this weekend. You can play the game now for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile using my links.
Yes, we're gonna finish out the ad.
Those of you that haven't played War Thunder yet or are returning after a break of at least 6 months will receive a massive bonus pack on PC and consoles, including premium vehicles,
but not mobile,
Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account. So I can't wait to see you in the game. Japan is also considering the development of a new generation fighter, as well as in parallel with acquiring the F-35. So it'll be quite interesting to see what they're cooking up and how the legacy of Mitsubishi will continue. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, no, that'll be cool. That'll be cool to figure out what if they actually end up going through with it. Well, that was Found and Explained on the F2. That was super interesting. Like, definitely learned a bunch about the fucking F2. Damn, that was good. Make sure you guys check out the original being linked down below. And please, if you do have a video that like about the modern self-defense force, even if it isn't something that I'll like look into on the channel itself, I want to watch it personally. And yeah, y'all really seem to always have pretty good suggestions. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, make sure you guys take care of yourselves. See ya.